Hi, welcome on my channel. Thank you for joining me. So in the themes of Halloween, I'm a bit dressed up today, and it's not specifically a Halloween outfit. I'm from the Netherlands, and in the Netherlands we also celebrate in some parts of the country carnival, so dress up. But I do like subliminal messaging in, in my looks at times. So some of you that know a part of my story can kind of guess a bit why I'm dressed up like Red Riding Hood. So the topic of today, I restarted my channel recently. I'm in my new home, so welcome on Anna's Ark. And we're going to get into the Halloween theme of spooky stories. But don't worry, eventually it will have a happy ending. So today I want to elaborate on the topic. So if you scroll a bit through my posts, I made a list of topics that I already shared on my page, but I restarted it. And I want to do a different content creation with that. But yeah, I'm still learning as I go, so I hope it's a bit entertaining like this also. I'll get better in really editing and stuff eventually. So, but I have a topic list, and my first video was a topic that I felt aligned towards to deal with some things that are going on energetically within me, but also in the larger scope of things. I elaborated then on what purpose, what are you here to heal? And I want to play around the themes of the archetypes of the zodiac, and elaborating on my previous video I did, your Saturn return. So I told a bit about my predestined near-death experience, how I came into my awakening and my part of my purpose, learning about that. And that relates also into studying supernatural things, my divine blueprint, the zodiac comes in there, archetypes of the zodiac come in there, alchemy comes in there. But today I thought it was a bit funny because we're in heading towards Capricorn season. That is a major placement in my divine blueprint. And how can I help you with my experience and my knowledge about this is you also have a Saturn return. And let me, as a, how do you call it? It's one of the major rulers of my blueprint, Saturn, karma. So, and I thought also, because this is my 16th video on the page, in 16 in tarot, you have the devil cards. And Capricorn rules around tarot, the devil cards. I'm going to come a bit later in this. So before Christians or, you know, bit scared people that fear what they don't know all about come calling me a witch or a harlot or something like that. Hold your ground. Or maybe, you know, go back to the times where you tried to make us drown and burned us at the stake, and then, oh, they didn't survive. Or they came back for revenge. Why? I'm not like that, okay? I'm an alchemist in this. So, the devil card in tarot. I'll zoom later in a bit on tarot also. I can do readings, but I don't do that often. And the reason why I eventually got a tarot deck is because in the beginning of my spirituality, searching for things. Tarot was one of them, but it came like an addictive thing to watch tarot from other people, and I wanted to take back my personal power in that. And I like pretty things, so I was drawn to the deck Synthesia, and this relates to one of my God-given gifts of visions, to help me with that sometimes. But yeah, if you're not careful, you also, you don't want to mess with these kinds of things. You have to be stable, grounded for that, and be careful that your ego doesn't take over the show. But yeah, maybe more zooming in on that, but I did want to share. Saturn rules actually a bit of demon things in how do you call that, hereticism? Maybe I'm saying it wrong, forgive me, okay? In spiritual teachings, historic teachings, those kind of things. I'm going to come back a bit on why I did this, okay? But let me see how I can make this a bit of a storyline that makes sense to some. Some people will find that and that like, what is this about? Or that's fine. I'm just going with what I like and what I want to share from what I know, have learned, and I'm still learning about. So my predestined near-death experience, and how that was my Saturn return, and how also you have a Saturn return. A lot of you, not all. Some people are meant to maybe stay asleep. Some people don't want to wake up. Some people wake up, go back to sleep, how they call that in spirituality. Saturn is the taskmaster. Taskmaster in planetary things, and he rules karma. So a lot to do with he has a masculine energy, the archetype. It's a masculine energy, and likes things like structure, lessons. It can also go the hard way. So when your Saturn return hits, things that are still needing to be resolved, or things that need to be let go of in your life, or lessons that need to be learned, are going to come up for you. And in my case, that came through, are you going to leave with the past you have and the stage you are in, actually also at that time? Or are you going to stay, but then the difficulty level is going to accelerate? And at the moment we are also in, I think, Saturn retrograde in Aries, so in my sun sign, until I believe somewhere next year. No, for 2-3 years maybe. Don't pin me on it, but I have been seeing these energy things going on in my life, and also other astrologers talking about it, and have been sharing some things about this on my page already. I can't be playing around anymore. Saturn is the dad that also whoops your ass. So I'm not going to go into my near-death experience again and what I'm generationally healing, because that's only part of my mission. But so Saturn is the ruler of my North Node. And in astrology, North Node is what you are heading towards. Your South Node was your past, lessons that you already learned and things that you master. And in this lifetime, you want new challenges to overcome. So I thought it was a good one to share with you all before I really start making the video, the archetypes of the zodiac. So I'm going to have to really close this lesson. So I did a lot for, so we all have masculine, feminine parts, and a lot of my lessons came in actually in harsh wounding in my both masculine and feminine, but I have the most difficulty with really getting my masculine in balance. So that's what I'm going to work towards in the coming time. And I know what I have to do for that. I have to be very structured. And what I share today in my post is what I'm going to actually have to do. So I kind of a while ago got the lesson. Maybe that was a bit meant to be like that, because I maybe wanted to give my personal power out of my hands and help me with that. So I'm an addict still. I'm an active addict, but I'm working towards. I wanted to go inpatient rehab for a while to stop, but that didn't really work out for the term and how I wanted it to be. But I'm not going to give up everything I learned until now, everything I built until now to be a year. So I got rejected for an 8-week program, and they were like, yeah, you just have to give up your everything, my cat, my home, the charity work I'm doing, everything, to go somewhere in, they call that a safe house, for a year. And that just threw me back to my childhood in going to CPS, Child Protective Services, and what my experience was with that. So I think a good time to dive into this subject, that maybe, and you know, I'm not so far in the woo-woo that everything has a message in my life and everything was meant to be like this, and but I did find the lesson in it. Like, if you really want this still, even that you didn't get it the way that you were envisioning, working towards, what are you gonna do now with that? And then that's where Saturn really comes in again. So in your Saturn return, expect deja vu moments. Why is this happening? Things, hurdles in your life, people hurting you, a lot of karmic things happening, and you're at first going to be probably in victim mode. Like, why me? Why does this happen? You know, why I'm not getting my way and how I wanted to, because it's a lot about the hard way, the strict father in teaching. And you have a Saturn return while you're young, you know, young adolescent. Around 27 this sets in. But it depends on where it was in your natal chart when you were born, in the snapshot of the stars and the planets. So mine was at 29 and a half, 29:30. So, well, it was a bit earlier. I had the pre-show. How do you call? What was it? The prelude into dun dun dun, and that this happens. Oh, family. And I don't have anything in the physical to show for that anymore. So yeah, but I know it's important that I know myself that this is true. I'm not just going crazy and seeing things. So yeah, I'm not in my Saturn return anymore, but I do have a lot of Saturn, Capricorn, not only Capricorn, because more things align with Saturn, but that has a lot to do with my destiny. So probably because a Capricorn also, and I'm not sure about this yet, if I want to become a teacher in this. I'm still doing my own healing and work and study. But Saturn, Capricorn North Node is actually destined someone to show others the way, to be a leader type. We'll see. I don't feel like that yet. So, and that it has a lot to do with my destiny, not only in the spiritual, non-physical things, but also in the career path that I'm choosing, and also structure in my life in total and in relationships. So I can tell you, as an hardcore active addict for about 2 to 3 years. Gonna zoom into this a small bit, okay? I smoked cigarettes, and then weed was my main DOC, drug of choice, and then it became when I really fell into addiction, so that I really lost my self-control in that, and I couldn't be a functioning person really anymore, was for the past 2.5, 3 years. Every time I tried to build something I could temper it down, I just crashed again. So I've been stopped, gotta celebrated the small victories. I did stop smoking weed for almost 2 years now. I had one relapse this year, but I didn't stop counting from there. So yeah. So now alcohol and cigarettes is next in that. And I don't know if I'm not going to rehab, so I'm going to taper. But what I'm also going to do is, I know what is very important for me is to really, because I've been blessed with my new home, was a major stress point for me, and like everything, and going to therapy, and then having to wait, and then getting rejected, and all. I do want to make a new plan towards getting sober, but I'm not. I don't know, sometimes it's the addict in me, I can't stop, but sometimes it's really what doctors have told me, but they're not really helping me. It's like in a half an hour, and they say, yeah, we can't help you right now, and like, good luck. So yeah, I'm tapering, and for now it's going okay in that. So, I'm not gonna go into that. So don't think I'm drunk at the moment. It's really like more like an antidepressant, I'm not that. Then you're under the influence too, if you're on medications and stuff. So, okay, I'm not drunk on my channel, okay? So in your Saturn return, you're going to get karmic lessons again, and because a lot of my path is about Capricorn, North Node, I'm dealing with that more, and also because my divine blueprint, my life path number, those kind of things, I deal with that on a larger scale from other lifetimes too. What I wanted to, so why did I draw the Devil card too? I said I didn't want to dive way too in my near-death experience, but I did. This life felt kind of like charades. And the Dutch Hans and Grietje with the breadcrumbs to the path of... That's how my life has been for a while. And I can say that sometimes... I told my coach this once, it really happened. I was under the influence quite back then, but I almost pissed myself laughing about the divine joke. I was still smoking weed back then and alcohol. So he was probably from the front lines like, what the fuck? But it was, if you find some things that we're like, if it clicks and you have this deja vu moment, but you have deja vu in, I think I remember this. That's your soul already knowing. The aha moment you feel really in your brain. That sometimes happens when someone you haven't seen in a long time is telling you a story and you're like in the beginning, and then it feels like your brain just opens up to this. And you're, oh yeah, I remember that. And then you start. Life can be like a divine joke sometimes. That's how that's important points in your journey too. Because if it would be, and then I would have taken the out already. And there's another Saturn return coming around 44, and then after. So yeah, have to be a lot more healed by then, and hopefully having a happy family too, so I don't have to face those things in the loneliness and stuff I've been going through in my first Saturn return and the alienation. But some things felt like a divine joke. So why what I shared today, this is all quite recent, because I do know so that in my godparents that Sophia was a major guideline towards how am I going to come home, heavenly home again. Sophia, and now I found that a lot of my past lives relates to the resurrection, or more they call it. So Sophia resurrected. They both, but it's a solar anointing of my godparents. And so my mother that committed suicide when I was not even 1 year young, her name was Sonia, so that guided me towards that. And now the recognition of the contract I feel aligned to, the indigo contract, soul contract, polarity integration, all starts clicking towards the return of King Arthur. And maybe I won't even live to really see that people are seeing this in a physical dimension, or maybe I won't have the honor of making that this lifetime, but it does soothe my soul and it makes me emotional to read into those things. But I'm not sure about that of my divine plan yet. So coming back to, going into Red Riding Hood, the fairy tales of how life can be and how you can see it a bit as the movie of your life. And are you really the main character in it, or are you the victim, or what? Or do you want to be the overdreven, too much, the hero savior of everyone? I'm going to zoom into that a bit too, because the archetypes of the zodiac also really has Carl Jung, a psychologist, talking about that also in story archetypes, not only relating to the zodiac. So when you are in your Saturn return between 27 and 30, maybe 31, but it can have also after waves, and because of my divine blueprint, a lot more. So let me zoom towards myself a bit again. That because I have a lot of Capricorn in my natal chart, means that I dealt a lot with, black magic curses, generational curses, satanic ritual abuse, blood sacrifice. Yay! But I have to remember that I chose this and that I can overcome it and that I also need God in that. So don't think I'm a devil worshiper or I went to the dark side. There's a reason why I have the white orchid. Look it up. I'll come back in plans later with signs and synchronicities. I'm on the crystals mission, working towards that. So look into your birth date. Your name has an energetic signature. So the reason why I changed my name to my soul name, and that's a God-given name. I didn't just come up with that, okay? It's in my in my middle name too, Anastasia, meaning resurrection, birth of Christ, Christmas, but I don't believe Christmas was the birth date of Christ. Whole lot of story. Look into your names, because that holds an energy signature and a divine clue. Also names around you, people that are dear to you, intimate relationships. Look up what that name means, because that could be a clue towards your soul path. So I'm talking about your Saturn return, but Saturn return is a bit, okay, I'm gonna do this, okay? Wiki! If you don't do it good enough, it's not. You're like, that is. So that's a bit of your Saturn return. Hello. Look at your dreams. And numerology. So that's why I wanted to do this talk today and was diving into my Capricorn North Node, number 16. Because numbers are a divine... God is partially math. Everything is calculated. So let me give you... This is a quirk of mine. I have because Aries rules the head and because of how I am, but it does relate to my divine blueprint, how God made me and what I am, and what I learned already and what I'm working towards. Wist you that? Did you know that? God is math. So let me give you one stupid. Did you know that? Everything is calculated in nature, also in your body. This is one stupid thing, and your foot is the same size from your elbow to your wrist. I don't know if you're bendy enough, but if you don't believe me, send me if you tried. What the fuck is he talking about? Missed you, dog? I like that. I have this stupid knowledge sometimes from the cracks of my brain. Sometimes I have wisdom, sometimes I just want to be a bit jolly, back to earth and you know, the mundane stuff also. So invest a bit in your Saturn return in really meditating. Don't do mistakenly what I did and lose yourself in substance abuse. Because I did that for many years, to just zone out, numb out, and all it does is extend your pain and make life more difficult, and especially your soul path more difficult, because your soul doesn't want to stay in a decaying body. I can tell you. And also, I'm sorry to say, but prescription drugs can have the same effect. So that's part of the negative agenda on this planet too, to capture you in that lifelong addiction. And pharmaceutical drugs are relating to that too. Happened to family members of mine. So don't do that. Stay a bit vigilant in spiritual pursuits, in giving your power away. So tarot readings, having your readings in your astrology. It's your journey. And that's what I'm working with at the moment. So I'm trying to heal my addictions and the core of that, my deeper traumas, but also reclaiming personal power. And I feel that the only way to overcome my addictive states is to be not more. I did talk therapy for a long time, so if you need that, please do that. But there comes a time that you feel like you're a hamster in this running wheel, but not going through. So I feel that a lot of the my heart activation and my solar energy with doing and building trust in myself that I mean what I say, and I act upon that, and I do that, and I make plans for myself, and I set goals, and I achieve them. And it doesn't have to be this big major mountain I have to climb, because that doesn't work either. But yeah, that's what I feel would be helpful for myself in my healing. Maybe for you at the moment not. Sometimes we have to have time to go inwards, and the world will judge you for that you're not working currently, or that you're just no fun at the moment and not going out and not doing. Sometimes that's necessary too, to go inwards and be still and listen to yourself more than the chatters of everybody around you. So, I'm gonna call this your Saturn return, or Saturn return. So, it was a bit of a messy video, but like I said, my plan changed completely. I do like doing this. It might be still a bit messy. That's okay for the time being. I hope you got something out of this video. Maybe I'll expand a bit in text more on it. And well, stay tuned for more about the archetypes. And it's trust me, it's not going to be all spiritual woo-woo. I'm trying to make it, and that's also Capricornian of me, applicable for you on your journey. Thank you so much for joining me, and maybe see you next time. Bye.